Yo, what's good, Joel? Hope everything's alright with you. Today I'm going over this vintage sample that I made. It sounds like it's straight out of 70s, kind of like that psychedelic feel, something that you could see in these weird cartoons or even movies. So we're gonna practice making authentic sounding vintage samples that could be flipped into trap, boom bap, whatever style of music you prefer. So without me babbling too much about this, let's get straight into this. Alright, so going into this, I wanted to make it warm, kind of soft. I knew that I'm going to need vintage keys. In this case, I selected my UAD Electra 88 vintage keys. Probably one of the best purchases I made. The vast majority of presets are very usable. Sound is very authentic. The presets are just amazing straight out of the box. I picked a preset called Warm Woozles. This is the first melody I came up with. If I mute all the small notes, you can see that the structure is getting trimmed down to the main chords. These top notes here were transposed from an octave below. So I'm going to demonstrate to you what the chord sounded like originally. This alone provided that vintage warm feel that I was going for. The rest was easy to build on top of that. Now I'm gonna play all of this together. By the way, I'm going to include this and a few other samples in the sample pack that I'm going to release once I hit 1,000 subscribers as a thank you to you guys and your support. For now though, if you do need free samples, I already have sample kit that you can go and download. Link is on the screen. A few things to make it sound authentic as if it was played by a real person on a real instrument. Strumming the notes, shuffling the notes a little bit and moving them to the right, and randomizing the velocities of each note. Strumming, basically selecting a chord, pressing Option S. On Windows, I believe it's Control S, and that brings up this menu, Strummizer, and here you just play with time, tension, and the velocity. Just be very careful because you can kind of wreck the melody. Next, shuffling the notes or moving them slightly off their quantized position, and by quantized position I mean on the grid. So you can see that this C sharp is currently on the grid. Option on Mac, I'm not sure what it is on Windows, and do that to the majority of notes. And to randomize velocities, you can go to Tools and find it here, Randomize. What do we got on effects on this melody? Compressor, 1176, UAD, parametric equalizer, removing lows and highs. Cymatics origin helps to make the sound more vintage. And UAD pure play reverb. You can add any reverb, it doesn't really matter. Next would be a free plugin, Shreddage Stratus. It says right here it's free. This plugin sounds amazing. I have no complaints. What I did here is that I took those very chords that I was just showing you. I brought all the notes back to the beginning of the chord and just strummed it slightly. And I did it by hand. I didn't use the tool, and I added these small notes just to spice up the overall melody. So here's what it sounds like. Next is a free plugin, Moto Bass 2. I know a lot of people on YouTube use Rickenbacker bass, and it's probably one of the best basses I've heard for this type of samples, but I found this free plugin, Moto Bass. I'm just trying to put you onto some free sauce before you have the money to go ahead and purchase whatever plugin you want to spend your money on. But here's the alternative that is free and you can still make amazing samples. This sounds amazing as well. I stuck to the original preset. Here it is. As for effects, I have this BX Rock Rack V3 player preamp plugin. Never used it. This is the first time using it. Don't know much about that yet. Let's check out without it. I wouldn't say there's a ton of difference, but you can feel it. And then I just removed anything below 30 hertz, and I removed some of the low mids and the treble. Next, guitar melody, and it's the same Stratus free plugin, same preset and all. Here's how these two guitar melodies sound together. I just thought it makes it sound a little more rich, and it just kind of added more body to this melody. Next, I went on Splice and found vocal soul melody. I changed a few things here. I matched it to the key of the sample, so I had to add 500 cents, and then I set it to stretch pro mode, and I shift the format to the right, essentially selecting higher pitched format. As for effects on the vocal, I have Valhalla Supermassive, free plugin, parametric EQ, removed highs, removed lows, and boosted a little bit of presence. Now with all these melodies, it sounded a little bit more empty without the drum break. Just a simple rhythm to carry the sample, and I isolated the low mids and mids just by removing the highs and the lows. There's also one more element, and that's Clarinet from BBC Symphony Orchestra. This plugin used to be paid, now it's free, and I think it's an absolute steal. Look at this. It has horns, harp and celeste, percussion, but more importantly, it has woodwinds like piccolo, flutes, oboes, I have no idea what that is, clarinets, bassoons, basses, cello, violas, violins, and violins, more violins, more violins, a lot of violins, trumpets, tenor trombones, bass trombones, tuba. The whole orchestra for free. Spitfire Audio, Labs. Shout out to Labs. Labs rocks. Here's my clarinet melody. On the mixer, Tape Mellify, Late Night Drive preset, pure plate, just a plate reverb, and I think, yeah, that's 50% of that. And I isolated this sound as well, just to kind of tone it down a bit. Something that I wanted to mention is that each melody, starting from the first one, was panned. This one was panned to the right. The next one is panned to the left. Both panned 45% in respective directions. This one was panned 45% to the left. This one is panned 45% to the right. Bass is straight down the middle. And in the mixer, I selected this in order to merge, essentially creating full mono. Guitar melody is panned 15% to the left. The vocal is 15% to the right. Drums are also merged in mono. And that's it. I hope you learned something. I better go get some rest. Peace out.